What up, my freaks? Ruinous Insight here with part, I want to say 23 of my Total Warhammer II modded Mazdamundi campaign. So as we saw last time, an Itza-focused episode saw us see off some armies over here near the center of Illustria. We have also discovered where Gorok is finally, and he's sticking around with a reasonably decent force here. It's sort of half decent and half early game units, although he does have some high-ranking blessed units as well that have clearly been around with him for a long time. Pretty jealous of that blessed steg that he's got there, but we do have blessed stegs coming in as well as soon as we can get them, and those are going into Mazdamundi's army. Mazdamundi has been running around with a sort of a basic army, i.e. an army that was... Wait, where the hell is Mazdamundi? He's up here, isn't he? Yeah, he's been running around with an army that was sort of cobbled together mostly for a very, very long time, and there is a partial reason for that, as he is so strong, his army is already so powerful that it doesn't really need anything, and therefore you can do anything with it. But considering that he does buff stegs and basties quite a bit with his sacred beast keepers, we do want to get those blessed stegs in there to support what he's currently got going. That will mean we will probably, well, I do want to replace the Saurus warriors with more Temple Guard, as he's going to be a primarily Temple Guard army. Replace the Amexon Barb and the Tichiwichi's Raiders here. These guys are all gonna go. Eventually we'll replace the Mornfang Cavalry as well, but I'm not entirely sure what we're going to replace them with. And I probably want to replace this one bastard with the Solar Engine, because I was planning to get him the Thunderous one in his army as well. And yeah, I know that he doesn't need any of this really. He could probably win stuff with just a bunch of Saurus and nothing else, just by virtue of how powerful Mazda and Krok are. But you know, it's just for fun, right? And I do want to keep the theme of his current army going. Anyway, we left off last time with not enough time to do the battle for Hayek, and therefore that is what we're going to be starting with today. It's got a reasonably decent garrison and some pretty powerful units, so I think we're going to do this in cinematic style, although I don't expect them to have to provide too much of a challenge towards what we have here, especially as we do still always have artillery superiority in this particular situation. Although we won't have as much artillery as we do with Mazda's army, we have enough to bring down the tower, so let's get to it. Alrighty, here we go, the battle for Hayek, and immediately we see that there's a minor issue. Cows are being chucked at us, and unfortunately they're exploding, and thus our dinos can't actually eat them to regain some of their energy. Of course, these cows are going to start doing the damage to our basties, and it is a fair bit of damage, perhaps surprisingly. Well, I guess they are explosive cows, so it's probably the explosions doing more damage, because I don't know whether the cow would have enough mass to hurt a bastie that is so incredibly armored. Maybe if it hits it right in the head or something, then it would give it a concussion or something like that, possibly. But then again, we do have dinos that are, you know, they're built to charge enemies. They have those horns and stuff there, so they're probably built to take damage to their heads, and probably have some sort of padding around their brains and stuff to keep them from getting concussed. I believe that's a thing. Anyway, it's going to take a while. We are going to sit here and take damage to our basties while they try to dish out damage to the towers. Look at all those exploding cows. How many dead cows is this city storing to have this much ammunition? Just from a logistical perspective, just think about it. They have unlimited ammo of these, so they can be launching thousands upon thousands of dead cows. And I know it's perfectly possible to have that many cows to feed a place, but this city is not big enough to store that many animals, because they're fairly large. Also, speaking of the city, it's a really cool map. Really, really cool map. I really hope that something like this map is available for the third Total War, because imagine if this was all playable, if this area was all playable, all these avenues that you could fight in, have units up here and firing down from these little keeps and forts. You could definitely dock units on these walls and fire down while units all fight down here. Same with this little fort area. It's pretty damn awesome. Pretty damn awesome. Hopefully they recycle some of these assets. I really wish that they would have gone back and added the... Well, I guess they are, aren't they? Because the Mortal Empires from the third game will be using the engine. So what, are they going to rebuild all of these maps such that they are now different? I wonder, because it will be the same locations in Mortal Empires, won't it? At least some of them will be the same. There will obviously be new locations, but Game 3 Mortal Empires that are fighting on current maps, how are those being done? I really gotta read about it. I generally don't watch videos and stuff to not spoil myself, but stuff like this that is just mechanics that doesn't really bother me as much. It's more like early access Let's Plays and stuff, because I want to experience stuff for the first time myself, because you never forget your first, folks. Obligatory Slaneshi giggle, of course. Alright, and the tower is going to go down here, 2 down, 1 remaining that is still firing at us, and it looks like our Basties with solar engines will win at the end of the day. We are, of course, using heals with regrowth on both of them. This one has actually recovered more HP than it started with, which is very, very interesting to me. It's very interesting because I'm pretty sure units have a cap where they can't regenerate more than they started with in the battle, but in this particular case, it doesn't appear to be the case, so I'm not entirely sure what's up with that. If anybody knows how that system works, please do let me know, because I did also take a look at, I believe, these Saurus units, and they are definitely capped, although you can't see that here. They had that line on their HP that was like a line here that's saying you can't go past this place, whereas the Basties appear to not have the line. I gotta take another look at this. Because, yeah, they are both more healthy than they started with now, and this tower is going to go down, so our artillery will win out with Slann's support. Although it did cost us quite a bit of magic to use 2 regrowths and I think 2 or 3 Earthbloods on top of it. And I don't know why I decided to speed it up here. I thought that we'd be waiting for our units to get here anyway. Our ranged units, our flyers, aka our fire leech bolas, are in it, and they are going to go around trying to destroy enemy ranged units. The skeleton archers dropping some bombs on them, clipping about half the unit, but fortunately the fire leech bolas themselves will take care of business here. We did try to get this unit in here, but unfortunately the enemy has that really, really annoying unit, the Chosen of the Gods, which do absolutely incredible damage. Fortunately, although we are not using it yet, I will be popping a Terminator Deep Strike right on these units just to try to kill them off, as they are fairly vulnerable, unlike the, well, I guess the regular Ushapti are fairly vulnerable as well at times, but it really depends on what particular units are there are fighting them. Anyway, our flyers have now taken quite a bit of damage due to Ushapti fire, the Chosen of the Gods, as well as these 2 units of regular Ushapti with Great Bow. They do force this unit to rout, although I do believe it will come back, and the rest of our flyers are going to have to sit back, relax, and watch the rest of the siege happen. One last tower goes down. This was sort of a preemptive just in case tower, just in case the enemy came up here and actually activated it, while the rest of the army is finally getting ready to form up. And just look at this army. You gotta love the Lizardmen armies, how they have so many monsters, especially in this particular case when we have salamanders all over the place. It just looks really cool conceptually. That it's not just infantry. You gotta love these things. Alrighty, and we're forming up lots and lots of Saurus moving in the background, the backbone of any real lizard army. And we have a ton of large monstrous units. We still do need to, however, replace some of these regular Basties with powered up Basties, but the Saurus, despite being low tier, are going to stick around. We do need to begin our siege here as well with our salamanders that can do a lot of damage to all these poor units up on the wall. Still don't have that Terminated Deep Strike up, but we're almost there. I just got to begin with the siege here. And it looks like the gate is actually at full HP, and I don't know why the enemy decided to send an archer unit out here, but it did get absolutely wrecked by a couple shots from our Ancient Salamanders. Ancient Salamanders absolutely amazing at dealing insane amounts of damage to blob units. And being a single entity unit, that does make them fairly decent at sort of flanking an enemy and then firing into the backs of units, into the sides of units, more importantly the blobs in general. The enemy appears to have wasted one of its uses of its net of Ammontalk on our units here. I guess that's kind of annoying because it does cancel any order the units had there, so I do have to manually tell them to move right back into line. But I think the AI just doesn't know what to do with its magic here, because otherwise that does nothing to us, right? They're not firing on us. We've just grouped up and are ready to go in. 2 Slann working together, a life and fire out of the ashes of the Tomb Kings. once they are burned alive, new life shall grow. I kinda like these two working together like that. One burns and then the other raises. It makes sense. It all makes sense. It's part of the old one's plan, one might say. Alrighty, and the army is moving up, all blobbing up a little bit, but that still looks pretty awesome. Let's see what the enemy sees here. Have we also gotten our deep strike going? No, not quite yet. Not quite yet. This is what they're seeing, getting a few shots down on a feral Basti with those skeleton archers, but they're not going to do much. We're also going to fire both of our bolts of the old ones at the units up here, and they do hit both times, which is impressive. Very, very impressive. We've seen those things miss even at stationary units before, so I'm just always impressed when they hit. I also love how they leave like a smoking area after hitting. I wonder how much damage they did. Not a crazy amount. This Tomb Guard lost about 25% HP, so decent, but not crazy. I'm still on the fence as to whether we should replace that use of that ability. I feel like for specifically the Life Slann, it's probably better to replace it, just because it'll make the version that you switch it for, the buff, would be really, really strong on a large entity unit. Whereas the Fire Slann, maybe not so much. Alrighty, and contrary to what I usually do, because we don't have a lot of other Tomb King's armies nearby, we are actually going to send the Saurus up the walls. Not so much because I feel like it's necessary, or because I feel like it's a good idea to do so right now, considering we still have plenty of ammunition, almost 90% on most of our regular salamanders. I just want to see the Saurus warriors in action, essentially. We could keep bombarding and destroy all this stuff beforehand, of course, but, you know, it's just for fun. We're fairly late into the campaign now, although it's obviously still around mid-game. We are fairly safe in our current position. And therefore, it's not super concerning to, you know, have our units get hurt a little bit. Although the Salamanders are still doing a great job preemptively, and just as that unit gets destroyed, our Saurus warriors and around, the fireworks exploding around them are jumping over the battlements here. Very cool. And this is why you gotta love sieges when they happen right. It's just really fun to watch them. I really wish that there was like another stack here. Obviously it's not possible because it already had a stack guarding it in addition to the garrison, but even more infantry to defend would be really cool. I actually feel like oh, hello. What we have here, our Saurus warriors are getting attacked by the enemy Ushapti, which is going to do some damage. We've seen some of our Saurus warriors unfortunately explode here. Poor little guys. This guy gets knocked back, and, well, several of them actually get knocked back. So that's certainly worrying. I'm actually surprised that the Ushapti with Great Bow are able to get the angles to fire on those guys, considering they have to fire over these walls. Or maybe it's these guys that are doing it. Kind of hard to see. I swear the arrows were coming from over here, though. Either way, let's keep going and speed it back up to normal. Keep watching the siege. We are also now finally through the gate. I missed the moment when the gates got knocked down, but look at how many monstrous units we have in here. Good luck to you, Tomb Kings. I don't think you can bring that down, even with all these Ushapti that you have trying to hold us back. Then the Ushapti, as we've learned from the effectiveness that they've had when fighting Carnosaurs, are fairly effective at this sort of thing, but I think we have plenty of dinos to actually overwhelm them, and I think finally the deep strike would have gone down at this point. Yes, there it is. There it is. The Terminator Temple Guard are in already, doing a fairly decent amount of damage to these Chosen of the Gods, the Ushapti with the Great Bow, that I think are the biggest threat that the enemy has on the field, and we really do want to take it out. Once again, now that most of the enemy army is distracted, our flyers are also getting ready to fly back in. They were using the cover of the buildings and the avenues that the enemy would have had to go around to sort of attack them here, but now they're coming back for a round two. The one that routed has also come back. We should just be able to destroy the enemy skeleton archers, as well as help out these Temple Guard in killing the Chosen of the Gods here. Now, it looks like the Temple Guards are winning fairly handily, in fact, extremely handily here, as these guys I mean, 50 melee defense. They actually have more melee defense than attack. I think it's more so the fact that they don't have enough attack to do anything to these guys rather than anything else. But unfortunately, the Temple Guard will get charged by these Ushabti, the regular Ushabti, which should be able to make fairly quick work of them, especially hitting them in the back like this. But as I said, the Flyers are coming in to sort of help out with all this stuff. And I love how they have fire while moving, so they can drop all those fire leech bolas while they go. And the enemy is quickly starting to run out of units that it can use to fight these guys. I love having an air force. I'm so glad that they didn't do to air units what they did to naval units, i.e. not have them exist. Alrighty, and it looks like the enemy has gotten even more units here. It's brought its... Is that a Lord or is that a War Sphinx? I think it's just a regular War Sphinx. I can't quite tell. Yeah, it's just a Cameroon War Sphinx. We still have all these Ushabti here, although some are starting to go down, getting a spell coming in from... Oh, right, they have a Hyro Titan here. Yes, yes, I completely forgot that they have you there, buddy. Chem's Burning Gaze? Shem's Burning Gaze, rather. Chem, Shem, close enough. Not to trigger any Chems or Shems out there. Alright, how are we doing up on the walls? Salamanders still putting up those fireworks, although I assume by this point they are starting to run out of ammunition. Ah, it's still got a 50% on you. This is what I was talking about. We could have definitely bombarded this. I think this is just that one unit remaining. Saurus, they should be able to take care of it, especially with support from some of these Salamanders, and they're doing a good job actually targeting the enemy unit and not targeting our Saurus here. I'm very impressed. Well done, Salamanders, well done, because they could have been getting stray shots right into this and hurting us more than they're hurting the enemy. Anyway, the Ushabti here look like they're about to die. We're getting some splash over from the fireworks as well to show that our victory is imminent. Our Slann have also come in here, and they're sort of hitting the back units here. The skeletons and stuff like that. I obviously don't want the giant units fighting the skeletons when the Slann can take care of them with their AoEs just fine. Otherwise, over here, we do have two of our own units that are actually routing or are otherwise terrified. Very, very badly hurt by virtue of the vast majority of the enemy monstrous units charging them just as they got off the walls. This is a sort of last stand for the enemy, wherein they will try to kill off as many of our units around their Lord and this Hyro Titan. But fortunately, we are charging right back. The rest of our Dinos are finished with the units that are here, with the exception of a couple of Ushabti. That a couple units, being the Carnosaur and this Stegodon, should be able to finish off. Over here, our Terminators have decided to rout, but fortunately, despite that fact, the Chosen of the Gods are being absolutely destroyed by our Flyers. The Fire Leech Bolas, though not doing a very large amount of damage to units like Ushabti, who are fairly resistant to this, they do enough to at least be able to finish off a crippled unit like this. Obviously, if that unit was still able to fire, I wouldn't be doing this, because these guys would get too wrecked by that, but that's fine. We also have one solo flyer unit of Pterodon Riders out here, just wrecking skeleton archers, any ones that are left, because those skeleton archers were supporting the action here, and obviously we don't want that. And here we go, let us watch the last stand here. The Slann are also going to come in and help out, maybe drop a few of those Slann force fields, which we've been dropping liberally this entire time. And you gotta admit, that's another real benefit of having two Slann in one single army, because they can continuously drop those Slann force fields and provide a significant buff. Also, this is why you always want at least one, I think, Arc of Sotek in each army, because this being here, in this fighting in this main blob, is providing all that extra poison. But you gotta appreciate. Well done, Arc of Sotek. Wait, where are you? Where are you? You're in there. You're in there somewhere. Kind of hard to select you in all this. Whatever. Whatever. Are certain units immune to poison? Actually, like our constructs, for example, immune to poison, or no? Because it would really feel really weird if you could poison constructs now that I think about it. Can't quite tell. I don't see the poison debuff on any of them, in fact. In fact, in general, I feel like the Tomb Kings should be immune to poison, right? Like, how do you poison a skeleton or a giant Hyro Titan statue? I suppose if the poison is really more like an acidic thing, where it actually damages stuff and like burns through stone or burns through a bone, then yeah, fine. I guess you could justify it. But if it's just regular old poison, then probably not. Like the poison applied by skink skirmishers, or rather chameleon skinks, really feels like it probably shouldn't affect these guys. Anyway, it looks like the enemy army has now suffered enough losses. The Lord has dropped, and this last stand looks to be going very much our way. Our dinos are mostly unhurt here, and they've absolutely destroyed the enemy, showing who's boss in terms of bringing those larger units to the field. And it looks like this Carnosaur is gonna have one final duel sort of thing with this Hyro Titan. Saurus are jumping around. Oh, you just got knocked back, buddy, but you're gonna get right back up again. Oh, the Hyro Titans are so cool. It'd be nice to get a duel between a Hyro Titan and a Dreadsaurian. I feel like the Dreadsaurian would absolutely obliterate it, though, because the Hyro Titan isn't really meant to dish out damage to single entities. And down it goes. It actually looks like the Troglodon got the final hit there. There we are. Just like that, the battle's over. Some units got hurt, but not enough to actually kill them, and I think that was the last unit here. Was that a Necrosphinx? Did they not use a Necrosphinx? We just destroyed them with a blob of large entities, and they kept back the one unit they had on the roster, other than the Chosen of the Gods, that was best at killing them. That's kind of hilarious. Gotta give it up to the AI for its own stupidity, but at least the last stand was fun. Anyway, let's see how we did. Let's see how much damage we took as we took Hayek. Alrighty, Hayek has fallen with not very great difficulty on our side. We did take some damage to our source, but that was mostly because I was very much impatient and decided to set them up the walls before we completed our bombardment with our salamanders, mostly just to get the battle over that a little bit faster. Otherwise, we didn't really take much damage. It was a nice little last stand by the Tomb Kings there at the end, with all the monstrous units sort of grouping around, and we had our blob of monsters attack their blob of monsters. I really enjoyed that, but otherwise they really stood no chance. It's pretty fun to watch the Lizardmen and the Tomb Kings, because both of them have those giant constructs and monstrous units, and they always, have nice little duels. Anyway, I would have loved to see this battle on the field, having to fight all those Ushabti and all of those Hyro Titans and War Sphinxes and stuff on a field, or as opposed to, systematically in a siege. But, that is as it is. In Game 3, we've seen that the sieges are going to be a little bit better, I think, so we'll have some decent fun when we get to it. Now, Occupy. There we are, and there we are. The Blessed Stegs are finally ours. It didn't take that long to get them. Hopefully we get more quests for those blessed units, because we just don't have enough. Now you two are going to take Phyrus as well, and then this entire province will be ours. We have a Temple of the Old Ones here, which is always lovely to have. We're going to delete you, however, friendo. And do we need to build walls here? Yeah, it's a port. Always build walls at ports, in my opinion. Cost is reduced. Speaking of reduced cost, we have one turn left on Enact a Great Plan, which means we're gonna have to get it going next turn. We have a lot of our empire to still buff up in terms of the money. We keep building more and more armies and reducing our income, unfortunately, which is making it harder to build up the empire, even though we have conquered quite a bit of new territory from the Tomb Kings, and it's not like we're going to stop anytime soon. But anyway, you guys have moved. We have some unassigned skill points somewhere. Oh no, that's a leader of his kind. Yeah, we don't care about that. And that's another leader of his kind. Yeah. I named both of them name plus leader of his kind just so that I could pick them apart once again in the giant pile of heroes that we have. In fact, speaking of giant pile of heroes, Bokta, you have not moved, so let's move you. You have almost reached where you need to be here. Let's go by the sea, and then you can land at all Hayek. Who else has to move? Ixtanarax, you are the Kroxagor leader. Oh, it's so much easier to keep track of them like this. You're going to join Nakai, buddy. Nakai's going to have two little pet skink casters. Alright, and it does make sense for Nakai, because the Kroxagors have a very special bond with the skinks being spawned at the same time, of course. Don't know whether we want to get those blessed chameleon skinks out of there. I still want a few more Kroxagors in this army, but this army is getting filled up quite quickly. I was gonna say get 3 more Kroxagors, but maybe we just keep to the regular blessed Kroxies and not even bother with the regulars. Let's see, we got 69-59 versus 63-53. And replace you with just a Blessed Croxy, but is 7 Croxies really enough for a Nakai army? Granted, the Blessed Chameleon Skinks are probably going to go into a different army here. I don't think Nakai needs them, especially as he's probably not going to buff them that much. I mean, he's going to buff them a little bit with the Skirmisher in order to buff the Red Crests, but I still think that... oh, right, I haven't even... I never respect Nakai, did I? Well, we don't need to right now. Well, we'll do it later. Do it at some point. Just because the AI wasted the point on Root Muncher. We also, I think, got to start getting maintenance on every lore that has reached 30, although I'm willing to bet not a lot of lords have reached 30, and I'm not willing to waste the point on Mr. Mundi himself. Anyway, I believe that's it for this turn. Everybody's moved. All the lords have made their moves as well. So let's see what Gorok does. Please, please occupy the sacred pools. That would be ideal for us. Oh, damn it, you have to move slightly. I purposely moved the camera there. Alright, now Eats is moving, and they have not occupied the sacred pools, unfortunately. Hello, what do we have here? Merry Sea Urchin. You are going to attack us here. Now, we could auto-resolve this. Honestly, this close victory. Are you crazy? I don't see how this could possibly be a close victory. Maybe it's because of the animated Hulks. I guess we'll fight this. Well, we're gonna make it a regular battle, but I'll have to make a cut here because that was a cinematic battle that needs commentating, so here comes the cut. Alrighty, there it is, and let's get to it. I guess I still don't see how this army could possibly cause this to be a close victory, but hey, I've been proving wrong before, but we'll see. We'll see if the auto-resolve is just being an absolute madman. Because I feel like it is. I suppose they do have a mortar, so they could deal quite a bit of damage to these guys, but wait, do they have any kind of range units? I don't think they do. I don't think they do. I've always really found it weird how you can't deploy outside of your city with Vanguard units. Because if anybody should be able to deploy outside their own city, it's the defenders, right? Like, not being able to sally out when you're seeing a giant enemy force approach seems quite bizarre to me, but whatever, what do I know? Alrighty, let's set everybody on the walls. You're gonna go take care of those mortars. Maybe we'll send the Cold One Spiritis out there as well. They do have a bloated corpse here. Is the other bloated corpse on this side? Yeah, it is. There's one on each side. I was hoping to avoid them and just send the Cav out, but whatever. Now, they do have both sets of animated Hulks on this side, but they also have a Depth Guard using a ram on this side, so either one could, in theory, break through. So we're going to set up our Spearsaurus right in the center on both sides. We will wait with our Spear, right here, yeah. Spearsaurus right, damn it, right there. Yeah, Suras. Alrighty, now, I guess we'll set up 2 Chameleon Skinks here, and then 1 Chameleon Skink and 1 Skink Skirmisher here. There we are. Then I guess back here we'll set up the Skink cohort because it's, you know, not really needed anywhere else. We are very quickly running out of units though. You're gonna go right here. Hopefully you don't get wrecked by Saurus. And then you're gonna go right here. They don't have enough units to actually climb up on the wall, so we just really need to hold what we have. Now we do have a couple Skink cohorts as well. I guess you could go down here, help out against these guys a little bit. And what else do we have? 1 more Skink cohort and the Lord. Lord, you go in the center. I feel like I'm overthinking this, and the AI is just being crazy, and this is not going to be nearly as difficult as it's saying it is. Because just judging by the amount of units they have, they're pretty trash. And you know what? You guys spread out a little bit. Like so, because the mortar. The mortar's still there. You guys are good where you are, and I guess we will keep 1 unit in reserve. Alrighty, and then you guys can head out through the gate. We'll make it... Damn it, who did I move? Oh, you. You go group, let's say 2, group 3, start battle. You head out here. You group 1. Alrighty, let's see how this goes. You know what we want to do? We want to target those bloated corpses. Take those out of the picture before anything else. You bloated corpse, please. You bloated corpse, please. And you bloated corpse, please. And then you can all retarget the depth guard once it's out of the picture. You can retarget the depth guard immediately. Alrighty, you get to the mortars, and I think the bomb should be able to take care of it. Go, go, go. It's always lovely to have flyers and cav in siege battles. There we go. Bombs will make you critical binding, and then you will get ripped apart. All right, how's those bloated corpses looking? I'm actually surprised that they haven't been wrecked thus far. And ironically, because we're in the Awakening, we have an undead, i.e. Vampire Coast City, which we're fighting. And you gotta love the Vampire Coast City with like the ports as well. They always look really cool. Gotta be super hard to like invade this place with this fort firing down on you the entire time. I would love it if we had naval battles, but that's just me, maybe. All right, how we doing? You guys are okay. The enemy bloated corpse is out of the picture, and this one is hopefully soon to be out of the picture. Come on, take it apart, and down it goes. Now target the rams, and then the enemy will have very little recourse after all this stuff is done. They haven't even reached the chameleon skinks or any of our ranged units here. These poor depth guard. And the funny thing is, the depth guarders are really fast units as well, but they're completely slowed by this ram. I honestly feel like the depth guard should have like a special ability, because they're vampires. They're extremely strong and extremely fast. They should be able to push a ram at like 2 to 3 times the speed and just get it into position. It would actually look really cool, and I feel like it would make sense. I feel like vampires, especially the depth guard, are not quite as fast as they really should be. At least if you want to conform to what they're supposed to be like in the lore. Alright, and it looks like one unit of the animated hulks will actually breach this gatehouse. Hopefully this one will get destroyed before anything else. Yeah, this one looks like it's going to crumble apart. I'm just going to tell you guys to target it on purpose. You're going to stay here, huh? Alright, how are we doing out here? The depth guard unit is out of the picture, and it's the enemy lord. Oh, you're on an animated hulk yourself. Wow, okay. Okay. Oh, and we have a set of Morngulls here. I didn't even realize that. Oh, what the hell? What the hell happened to you guys? Oh, the gate was partially open. My bad. Wow. I'm stupid. But you already knew that. All right, cold ones go around here and, no, maybe that was magic. What the hell? Yeah, you guys all got really hurt. I guess that was magic. I should have probably moved you guys apart. We have a death captain here. And you guys, you know what? You can probably provide at least some support. Go over here, I guess. Those guys are fine. Go and attack, hit the animated hulks in the back. How's that gate looking? How's that gate looking? 39%? Yeah, it's gonna take a while. I also did not use this. Could have slowed down some enemy units. I don't really care about the accuracy, but eh. And are our chameleon skinks firing on you? I can't actually tell. Wait, can chameleon skinks fire off of walls? Because they don't appear to be doing anything here. Chameleon skinks? What the hell? What are you guys doing? Oh wait, these are skink skirmishers. Wait, but skink skirmishers should still be able to fire. I swear they should. I've seen them fire off of walls like that. Oh, they just turned around and now they're firing? Are you telling me that they had to be ordered to fire? You have got to be kidding me. They had to be manually told to fire. Okie dokie. Let's see. This gunnery right is almost dead, or gunnery white, rather. And how are you guys doing? Well, regardless of how well you're doing... Ooh. You're gonna use an ability. You're gonna die, though. Let's summon our Terminators to hit the animated hulks right in the back. And as they're here, we're gonna hit them right in the front with the Source Warriors as well. I think that's pretty good. You guys, go out here. Go out here. Go, 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 go. Charge. Charge those animated hulks, surround them, Temple Guard and spears on from every side. Beauty. And down goes the gunnery right. White. Why do I keep saying right? What the hell? What's wrong with me today? Alright, you guys are good. Very, very good. Animated hulks are down and over here. Have they broken through? Well, they have certainly continued doing damage to our Saurus spears. They're all crumbling apart, including the Morngulls. They're not going to break through the gate, unfortunately for them. And down goes their admiral in the second, and I don't think we're going to get a close victory regardless of what the auto-resolve decided it was going to mark this as. Oh well, at least we got to fight in a cool city for a little bit. Let's speed it up. This battle is over. There we go. What? Close victory? What the hell are you talking about? Okay, fine, the auto-resolve wasn't lying. We may have only lost less than 10% of our army and have barely taken any damage. In fact, the only damage we took was to the Deathcaster here. But sure, game, sure. Close victory. Yeah, you saved yourself. Just by virtue of, you know, lying. Lying by telling the truth. Or telling the truth by lying. I'm not entirely sure which one it would be in this case. Release, captive, exterminate. None of this matters, really, because this army is not coming back. Research rate -10, I'm not willing to lose. Let's just exterminate. Just because. Principle of the thing, the other things don't help. Oh. Oh. I am actually surprised that he could reach this. I thought I checked and he could only approach, like, close to it. Huh. Well, that's neat. I guess we'll lose Zandri. Oh, was Zandri level 3? Damn it. Oh, well. Oh, well, we'll take it back with Mazdamundi next turn. Annoying. Oh, he didn't even take the settlement? Okay, buddy. Okay. I guess it's probably would have been a bad idea to take the settlement. All these heroes are starting to really annoy me as well. Damage building is particularly annoying because you have to repair buildings. Alrighty, anyway, I don't think anything else that is important is going to happen this turn. We're also out of time this time around, so I am going to call this episode here. There's a lot of administrative stuff to do, like heroes to move around and buildings to build, which I'll take care of between the episodes as usual. I just want to do one thing before ending the episode. I want to move you as far as you can go to see if you can find... Oxyodal.
Allow me.
Why are there high elves here? None of this stuff is conquered. Why are you all the way out here? Whatever. Ooh, and we got a new tech research. That'll be important. In fact, I'm going to forget. I almost guarantee that I'm going to forget to get a new tech going, so I'm just going to do that right now. Oh, right. You completed the Sequence of Honor Guardians nearly to Sequence of Enhanced Instinct, which would be useful. But I think what we want to do is we want to get Tablet of the Skinks and Sequence of Skink Invigoration. Both of these provide upkeep reduction to both Skinks and Kroxigors, and we clearly need some upkeep reduction. Plus, this is at 1, and whenever anything goes to 1, you always want to do those first, because you can't reduce it any further, right? Oh, and look, we have stuff here as well. Lovely. Upkeep for Lords and Heroes, you say? Oh, we're going to get that. Oh, in fact, maybe we'll get this first. No, but this will always be at 1, whereas if we lose a bunch of tech, this will stop being 1. So let's go Tablet of the Skinks first, and then we'll hit that one next. And we will also, I hope I don't forget at the start of next episode, but we gotta get that Enact the Great Plan right back up, because that -10% upkeep is really, really important, considering we have 47,000 army upkeep. We can't lose it, or our economy will absolutely get crippled. Anyway, unfortunately, I don't see Oxyodal here. We're not as far as the Frozen City, but the Frozen City is Nagaron's currently. But who knows, maybe there's like a single settlement up here somewhere. Deadwood Sentinels at the Palace of Ruin. Man, I think unfortunately it looks like Oxyodal might be dead. Oh well, can't do much about that, especially if he died a long time ago. And I believe somebody said in the comments of one of the previous episodes that if you get recruit defeated enemy lords that died a long time ago, as I understand it, don't come back. But correct me if I misunderstood that, because if that is the case, I would download it just to get Oxyodal and Tic-Tac-Toe back. I really, really hope that Krokgar isn't dead out here. He usually holds out, but it would be really unfortunate because the goal for this campaign, considering we've already achieved most of the objectives, is to go through and connect lizard to lizard, essentially, and grab all this. Nothing else really matters, and we've got most of what we want. We'll complete... Yeah, we're maintain 14 of provinces here, and then... I don't know how many of these we have, but a lot of these are coming soon, so... 17 is quite a lot of these, but we can get some vassals or military allies, and that'll probably complete this as well. We still have chaos to face as well, though, and they're going to come out to sea. Galleon's Graveyard is going to die, but we have to probably prepare some armies to guard the coasts all over the place. I really don't want to lose anything like here. And I swear that one of the enemy forces spawns like right here, so all of this stuff is going to be in danger. We'll have to start moving back all of these Illustrian armies back there as soon as we're done fighting with Gorok, essentially. But stay tuned for that, because that's going to happen over the next few episodes, and not now. So with that said, as always, I do appreciate any and all feedback in regards to the gameplay or the way I do things on this channel. If you have a second, please do take it to leave a like and or a comment to support the channel. It really does help. As always... This is going to be a fun fight next time, a really fun fight next time. All glory to the algorithm. and thanks for watching.
You leave.